This case was one of the most infuriating to do research for. A lot of the sources has different dates for when she was last seen or when she was reported missing. There's also so many details just missing, but I wanted to cover this case since I feel it is very solvable and there is definitely not enough coverage of this case. 22-year-old Cheyann Klus was always a very upbeat and outgoing young woman from Chicago. Her social media accounts was filled with selfies and memes. On January 13, 2016, her mother, who she was very close with, unfortunately passed away. This was after a long battle with liver failure. Then shortly after that, Cheyann also lost her beloved dog. As you can imagine, this was a very hard time for her. On September 4th, 2016, she posted on her Facebook, "Unfortunately just lost another part of her family, my puppy Mika. I had the opportunity to have you as my best friend for 11 years of my life. Go get mom and keep her company up there. I love you." Cheyann became depressed, and you could see how much she was suffering on a Facebook post she made. She began hanging out with people that weren't good for her. One of these people were 31-year-old Gabe Sedekase. At one point, Cheyann and Gabe was arrested. She was charged with obstructing identification and illegal transport of alcohol, while Gabe was charged with possession of a controlled substance. On the night of November 27th, Cheyann left her home with a laptop and a few pieces of clothing. She then went to the house of 38-year-old Brian Biddle. This is 4 photos that was posted by Brian on Cheyann's Facebook that day. The two of them spent most of their time partying and drinking together. Early morning on the 29th of November 2017, a friend of Cheyann named Chad Chanapai received a few texts and calls from Cheyann. He woke up 20 minutes after her last message. Chad saw that Cheyann desperately wanted a lift from him, and it seemed like she wanted to get out of Brian's house. Chad tried calling her, but there was no answer. He then called Brian, who told him that he slept for 18 hours after all the drinking, and when he woke up, Cheyann was gone. The day of when she was actually reported missing also does not seem to be known. I saw some people say on the 1st of December, on the 11th of December, and also the 12th of December. It is known that it is her father had reported her missing. On December 11th, 2017, a 911 call was made from Cheyann's phone. The person who called immediately hung up. It is unknown if it was Cheyann who called or someone else. If she was reported missing on the 11th of December by her father, like some sources say, then that would also be quite a coincidence that a 911 call and her being reported missing happened on the same day. It is possible that Cheyann saw that she was reported missing and tried to call 911, or that whoever caused Cheyann to disappear called 911 to try and take the investigation into the wrong direction. Police were able to trace her call to Mallard Lake Forest Preserve, about 20 miles from Brian's house. The police searched the area extensively. Something I saw a lot of people say was that they didn't search any of the lakes or the ponds. I definitely think they should check it. They found a couple of items, but nothing that could be linked to Cheyann's disappearance at all. The police has stated that Brian Biddle is not a suspect, and he has been cooperating with them. He let them search his phone, his home, his computer, and other personal devices. I can definitely see why people think Brian might be involved. He is a known drug addict, and after Cheyann disappeared, he was arrested for having a firearm and narcotics. He's also the last person to have seen her. A lot of people think that her friend Chad might be involved in her disappearance. It seems like he was friend-zoned and cared more for Cheyann than she did for him. In his interview with Crime Watch Daily, he made it clear how he disliked the fact that Cheyann was with other men like Brian and Gabe. It should also be noted that on the day the 911 call was made from Cheyann's phone, Chad put up this post on his Facebook account. Could also just be a coincidence that it was on the same day. Also on his Facebook, you'll see that pretty much all of his posts are about Cheyann, even before she disappeared. He would always call Cheyann babe or baby girl, which sounds to me at least like something a boyfriend would say, not just a friend. It could of course also be someone other than Brian or Chad. If she really wanted to get away from Brian's house, and Chad wasn't responding, she surely must have tried to reach someone else. She doesn't have a car or any money, so she must have gotten to the nature preserve with someone else most likely. Of course, because she was depressed from losing her mother and her dog, it is not impossible that she took her own life or ran away. I feel like this case can definitely still be solved. I'm also curious to hear what you guys think about this case, and what do you think happened to her? Cheyann had brown hair, brown eyes, a tattoo on her pinky finger, multiple tattoos on her right arm, including an Indian head on her upper arm at her shoulder, and a tattoo of a skull, a pink rose and a word in script lettering on the inside of her forearm.